I mean, it's pretty cool. You get to come here, learn some new stuff, have some nice snacks, and I mean, meet new people, really nice people.
We gave the kids a really cool experience today. They got to visit Shadowbrook Farms and see the goats and look at the produce. And then, of course, their favorite part, sample the cheese.
It's a cool place. They have lots of animals and lots of, they have like vegetables, and we got to pet animals, and we got to see chickens, pigs, goats, all different kinds of vegetables, and we got to have some cheese and yogurt. It's super cool.
It's pretty interesting because I used to have goats, but I never actually milked them myself. So I tried milking them.
Today?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It went interesting.
They're gonna have lots of stories. They've seen mice in action. They've seen the goats in action. I think just being able to sit at a picnic table and share that food with each other and conversations and what they'll bring back to their friends at school too.
We're learning about how to make different foods, and Family Consumer Science has to do a lot with making food, eating food, so it's teaching us how to make these things and what you would need to do that.
We're excited to use some of this information in lessons and actually use our school garden and use some of the produce that we get from that to create some cool recipes and maybe take some produce home as well.
I learned that sweet potatoes have more flavor than pumpkins.
That when you're making yogurt, sometimes you have to put other yogurt into the milk because then the bacteria will multiply and make more yogurt.
I think it was pretty cool because most of us live in the city, so none of us ever been on a farm, and it's like different experiences.
As a teacher, I was just excited to give them this experience. We have a lot of kids that probably have never been to a working farm, so just to see their faces, to see their excitement, it was amazing.
It's a cool learning experience. It's good that they know, and it's a new learning experience for everybody.
Board of
Mr. Mayhew.
Present.
Ms. Mumgard. Here. Dr. Rauner.
Here.
Mr. Shrivastov.
Present.
Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted and available at the main entrance of the room. We have minutes from our September 24th meeting for approval. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, the minutes stand as approved as published. Next, we have special reports, presentation, celebration of success. Kathy.
Thank you, Dr. Rauner. Denise, would you please join me at the podium? Today I'm joined by Denise Craig. She's being honored as the Nebraska State Association of Secondary School Principals as the Outstanding New Principals. What you may not know about her, she's at the Bryan Community School. It's one of our focus programs that helps get kids across that finish line. And it's one of my favorite programs that we've done here. So Denise, I'm really excited to do this. So I'm going to read this motion and make it in the form of a motion, Dr. Rauner. It says, whereas Denise Craig serves as principal of Bryan Community Focus Program and was recently named Region 1 Outstanding New Principal by the Nebraska State Association of Secondary School Principals. And whereas Denise Craig works collaboratively with staff and families to provide a foundation and support students on their learning journeys. And whereas Denise Craig is committed to the success of all students by building a caring learning environment, and whereas Denise Craig is valued, respected, and admired among her colleagues, not only at Lincoln Public Schools, but also across the state of Nebraska. Now therefore be it resolved that the Lincoln Board of Education does hereby congratulate Denise Craig for being honored by the Nebraska State Association of Secondary School Principals with the Region 1 Outstanding New Principal Award. It is signed by Dr. Bob Rauner, our board president, and Dr. Paul Gosman, superintendent of schools. On behalf of the Board of Education, congratulations.
Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Danik, and to the board for this recognition. I have some folks I want to thank. First, thank you to Region 1 of the Nebraska State Association of Secondary School Principals for this award and for the supportive colleagues I've met through this organization. I also want to thank Ross Rickenbaugh, principal at Waverly Middle School, for nominating me and writing very nice things about me. I want to thank my family for dealing with long principal hours and the amazing support they give me. With me tonight are my wife, Fala, and my daughter, Zora. I also have a son, Paxton, who's at an activity tonight. This honor is really about the students, staff, and families at Bryan Community Focus Program. Our students come from a variety of backgrounds, each facing unique challenges, yet they display remarkable courage in choosing to attend Bryan and committing to improve their relationships, attendance, and academic progress at school. Our mascot is the Phoenix, representing a new chance at school. We see students who have struggled with school. Maybe their anxiety makes it hard to get in the door in the morning. Maybe they've hardly been attending at all. Maybe they have failing grades. However, many students come to Bryan. They earn all passing grades. They join student council. They help out with yearbook or even participate in our school play. It's incredible to hear the stories of students who have major challenges in life. Some of them go from believing they won't make it, and we get to see them walk across that stage at graduation. I'm deeply appreciative and grateful to the staff at Bryan. They work tirelessly to support those students as they go through those daily challenges. Our Bryan staff come in every day with a positive energy and a drive to do whatever they can to help our students gain knowledge, grow life skills, and graduate. Of course, thanks to our Bryan families who also support our students through it all. We so appreciate hearing from families who have seen their students' life change while attending Bryan. Finally, a big thank you to our board and district leadership for supporting Bryan Community Focus Program. If you ever hear negative things about Bryan, please say it's not true. It's a school for second chances, for individualized instruction in a smaller setting. I'm so grateful it exists because of all of your support, and many students do earn that LPS diploma because Bryan exists. Thanks again for this honor and for your support of Bryan.
Do we have a second? Dawn,
A second.
any discussion? Yeah, Annie?
Well, I have to make a discussion. I've known Ms. Craig since before she was even a teacher. We just said before she had the sparkle of an eye, teacher in her eye. And it's always been like we were working with students then who, an after-school program, and had a lot of fun working together at that point in time. What I just want to say is that, I love attending the Bryan graduation. It's one of the honors of being on the board is going to graduations. But I really love Bryan's because we don't hand them their diploma. Your teachers hand them their diploma. And I just think that is exactly as it should be. And we just get to tell them congratulations. And when they shake our hands, of course, the students are like, who are these people? And it's like, that should be as it is too type of thing. So I think it's just an amazing program that we have. And I'm very proud to know that you're there and know they're in good hands. So congratulations.
Dawn?
I've been to a number of graduations at Bryan over the years as well, and every single time, at least one parent has come up to me and said, if not for the Bryan program, my student wouldn't have graduated. It's, in this district of choice, having options for students where we can meet them where we are and give them additional opportunities to graduate. Very valuable program, and thank you so much for your work, and congratulations on this recognition.
All right. Yeah. So Denise, thank you for doing great work for some of the kids who need it most. Laura, will you call the roll?
Mrs. Danik,
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew,
Yes.
Ms. Mumgard,
Yes.
Mr. Shrivastov,
Yes.
Ms. Byer,
Yes.
Dr. Rauner.
Yes. Next, we have public comment. I have no blue cards, so nobody for public comment. Next is our consent agenda. Are there any items to remove from the consent agenda? Kathy?
I would move approval of the consent agenda, items 8.1 and 8.2.
Okay, do I have a second? Annie?
I'll second that.
Do I have any conflicts, statements, or discussion? I have a conflict statement. I hereby declare a potential conflict of interest and hereby abstain from voting on agenda item 8.2A as to all matters identified in and reflected by my separate potential conflict of interest statement filed herewith. My vote in favor of consent is a vote in favor of all other consent items, except those identified in that statement upon which I have and do hereby abstain. Laura, would you call the roll?
Ms. Mumgarde,
Yes.
Mr. Shrivastov,
Yes.
Ms. Byer,
Yes.
Mrs. Danik,
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew,
Yes.
Dr. Rauner.
Yes. We have no items tonight for first reading. For second reading, we have one 10.2 from the superintendent, 10.2.1 NDHHS Youth Mental Health Education Funding. Do I have a first? Kathy.
I would move approval of the NDHHS Youth Mental Health Education Funding. It is a grant for up to $10,000, and it's due by October 9th.
Do I have a second? Barb?
I second that.
Any discussion? Laura, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Byer,
Yes.
Mrs. Danik,
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew,
Yes.
Ms. Mumgarde,
Yes.
Mr. Shrivastov,
Yes.
Dr. Rauner.
Yes. We have no expedited emergency actions, no items removed from the consent agenda. Are there any items from the board committees? Annie?
We just had our WHAM meeting this afternoon, which is our Wellness, American Civics, and Multicultural. And today we really focused on our wellness, and it was a very full hour where we talked about, we had an update about the pandemic and how we did, and things that we learned, and the plans that are now in place for the next one that happens, and next, when not in our generation, let's hope. My husband, who is an ER nurse, says it's not an if, it's a when, so let's hope the when is 100 years or longer, if we ever need the plan again. But we did have some really good key takeaways, and we had some really good things that we've learned and that we're acting upon. And also that, we talked about in our nutrition services, and a couple things I want us just to highlight is that we are doing the fresh fruit and vegetables program with 26 of our schools. And that we are getting over $500,000 of fresh fruit and vegetables served 2 times a week, and it's food that's promoting wellness with our kids. As well as we now have 23 schools that are part of the CEP program, which is where lunches and breakfasts are free for all students in the school. And the very cool thing about that is that at these schools, 80% of our kids are eating lunch, whereas district-wide, 60% of our kids eat lunch. And 48% of our kids are eating breakfast, and district-wide, 21% of our kids eat breakfast. So it's another great tool of showing when you take down barriers and have access to good and healthy food. It's an amazing thing getting our kids ready to go to a classroom to excel. Love to make that number bigger, but that is an ongoing thing. I just said that, didn't I? Love to make it bigger, and he's going, no, he's sweating back there. But we've done some amazing work. The team has done amazing work on getting it this far. I think it was only 2 years ago when we had 8, and we just kept saying, can we do more? Can we do more? And the team has definitely risen to the challenge and done more. Also just working on our strat plan of staff well-being and student well-being. And it's really very exciting that we know this is a 5-year plan, but that a lot of things are being put into place and being thought through, and we're thinking through what does that mean. Our staff well-being is dependent on student well-being and vice versa. And this is some very exciting things happening, and we just have a great team that works on all of this, and a lot of collaboration. And I will say that in the notes, you will have access to our 67-page that says things we've learned from the pandemic. So we learned a lot. Our original pandemic plan was 300 pages, and we only have 67 pages we learned. So there you go. So, and that concludes, and Piyush and Kathy are on this committee with me, so concludes my quick board update.
Okay. Any other committee updates? Any from special appointments? From the superintendent.
Yes, I just have 3 items this evening. The first is that each fall, the Nebraska Association of School Boards staff travels to 9 different regions across Nebraska for an evening of leadership training, recognition, networking, and vision with school board members from across the state. Several of our board members attended that area meeting in Fremont this year on September 25. During these meetings, board members are recognized for participating in workshops and conferences focusing on board goal development, planning, board and superintendent relations, advocacy, policy development, and other areas. It is my privilege to report that board member Mr. Piyush Srivastav was recognized with an initial board award of Achievement Level 2. Mr. Lanny Boswell was recognized at Level 7, and board member Mrs. Kathy Danek was recognized for attaining the prestigious Level 10. This award signifies an accrual of over 2,000 professional learning experiences through NASB, or the Nebraska Association of School Boards. Congratulations, board members who were recognized this year. And along the theme of that recognition and celebration, October is National Principal Appreciation Month, and it was appropriate to recognize a principal here earlier in this meeting. I'd like to take a moment to recognize all of our remarkable building leaders. This is National Principals Month, and our school principals are amazing individuals who answered the call to take on these challenging leadership positions. Every position in education is challenging, but rewarding, and I think the principals are among the hardest working in the district. Our principals work countless hours serving our students, families, staff, and community. Their passion for education and genuine care for each student shines through in everything that they do. They create an environment where learning thrives and where students feel supported, valued, and inspired. The principal's commitment to excellence sets a standard that motivates staff and students in the culture of each and every building to strive for their best. Their ability to handle challenges with grace and their skill in finding innovative solutions sets them apart. I want to thank you, principals of this district. Your impact on our school community is immeasurable, and we really are fortunate to have you. Finally, for our community, we have job interview days that are coming up. It is important to remind our community that we hire staff all year long. We have 2 opportunities for those interested in launching their career with the Lincoln Public Schools and making a difference in our community, much like I just discussed. On Monday, October 14, those interested in working in our transportation department are encouraged to attend our transportation interview day from 12:30 to 4 at Culler Middle School. Open positions in transportation include bus drivers, substitute bus drivers, and transportation paras. If you are interested in driving, but you do not have your certified driver's license or CDL, we will pay for your training. Then on Friday, October 18, from 12:30 to 4:30, we will have a classroom paraeducator interview day. Again, classroom paraeducator interview day on October 18th from 12:30 to 4:30, right here in the Steve Joel District Leadership Center. Position hours for these kinds of roles range from 2 hours a day to 8 hours a day. Anyone who has interest in more information about either of these interview days can go to our website at lps.org. While walk-ins are always welcome, we encourage those who are interested to fill out the application ahead of time to just keep the process efficient. One last note, did you know that full-time and part-time employees, those who work at least 17 and a half hours per week, qualify for competitive health insurance, pension, generous leave, and other benefits? This is a great opportunity for those who are interested in a career in the Lincoln Public Schools. And with that, I close my report.
All right, announcements of upcoming events. We have October 9th, Face the Chamber at noon at the Country Club. October 10th, the Career Academy Career Fair at 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Career Academy. October 22nd, we have the Chamber State Legislative Preview, 11:30 a.m. at the Country Club. And then the board meeting, 6 p.m. at the Steve Joel District Leadership Center. We have no other public comment. We do have a request for closed session. Do I have a motion? Kathy?
Move at the close of the ESU meeting that we had recessed and go into closed session for item number 1, negotiations, and item number 7, legal advice.
Do we have a second? Don?
I second.
Laura, would you call the roll?
Mr. Mayhew,
Yes.
Ms. Mumgard,
Yes.
Mr. Shrivastov,
Yes.
Ms. Byer,
Yes.
Mrs. Danek,
Yes.
Dr. Rauner.
Yes. We will go into recess after the ESU board meeting.
I call to order this meeting of Board of Education ESU 18 for Tuesday, October 8, 2024. Laura, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Byer,
Here.
Mr. Boswell,
Mr. Boswell is excused.
Mrs. Danik,
Here.
Mr. Mayhew,
Present.
Ms. Mumgarde,
Here.
Dr. Rauner,
Here.
Mr. Shrivastov.
Present. The Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted and available at the entrance of the room. Next on the agenda, we have minutes from our September 24th, 2024 ESU meeting for approval. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, the minutes stand approved as published. Next on the agenda is public comment. Do we have any blue cards? No, we don't. So we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval for the items? Don,
I move approval of the consent agenda.
is there any second? Ms. Byer?
I second that.
Thank you. Are there any questions, comments, or conflict statements? Seeing none. Laura, would you please call the roll to approve the remaining items?
Ms. Byer,
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew,
Yes.
Ms. Mumgarde,
Yes.
Dr. Rauner,
Yes.
Mrs. Danik,
Yes.
Mr. Shrivastov.
Yes. 8.0, we do not have any items for first reading. 9.0, we also do not have any items for the second reading. We do not have a request for closed session, and so we are adjourned.